Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. In the news today, Honda and Nissan had decided to merge with each other, and also a smaller company, Mitsubishi, is joining in.
Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan have announced plans to join forces, forming the world's third largest automaker by sales.
Now, this is important. This is going to be great for Honda and even better for Nissan, and this should save Mitsubishi. Here's the deal. They're going to have to do what Volkswagen did and make probably a universal platform that can either shrink or be enlarged by size. Their MQB platform Volkswagen has to make this work for them. They can share components and parts and everything else. Honda was very clear though. This is not a bailout for Nissan.
The two companies signed a memorandum of understanding this morning, with a smaller Nissan Alliance member, Mitsubishi Motors, also agreeing to join the talks. As the auto industry turns away from fossil fuels, Japanese automakers have been lagging behind their prominent rivals when it comes to electric vehicles. The deal is aimed at trying to cut costs and make up for lost time.
Now, this is also important. My opinion on electric vehicles, they are not the answer, they are not the future. They're more destructive, more mining has to be done. You have to do more to make a battery than you have to make a gas powered or diesel powered vehicle. And to prove my point how bad the world is doing, the UK has already pushed back, allegedly now, pushed back their electrification and their hybridization. There is a Land Rover, there's an engineer working on the third update for Range Rovers, which will have a V8 gasoline powered engine in it. They're working on the framework and the engine. They're engineering the third update. So, not this update, not the next one, the third one. The UK already pushed back their electrification and their hybridization because recently they were having power outages and brownouts. They were telling people, do not charge your electric vehicles at these times. Globally, I don't think there's anyone's grid that's capable of handling electric grid can handle the hybridization or full electrification of vehicles. And vehicle sales have been dropping across the board.
中国勢の台頭、それから新興勢力含めてですね、だいぶその自動車の構図が今変わりつつあるということで、それは何を意味するかというと、その自動車モビリティというですね、観点でその価値と
China's government subsidizes almost every single thing in China. So trying to look at them for what they're doing, just look at their e-bike graveyards, their bicycle graveyards, and their electric car and hybrid car graveyards. Just look it up. There's hundreds of videos showing all these graveyards. People are not buying those cars in China. They're being purchased and then they're being put in a graveyard, just sitting there to rot. There's tens of thousands of vehicles, tens of thousands of e-bikes. And the weird thing is China doesn't like motorcycles. For some reason, I guess China thinks motorcycles are like a peasant's vehicle. Someone said something like that. I don't have, they go to China, they lived in China, they left China, but they said that motorcycles are considered peasant vehicles when the motorcycle is probably a better form of transport than cars are. Granted, I know you need a car when you need to haul a bunch of stuff around, you need a car, you need to get people around, or if it's raining pretty heavily, you don't want to get drenched if you're going to work and so on and so forth. But most of the time, riding your motorcycle somewhere is the better option. This thing, trying to base your business on China, even though a large part of their purchasers are in China, they have the data. They already know that China's purchasing more gas-powered vehicles than they are electric.
その中の
Another important thing is, like I said, they said this is not a bailout, this is to help them turn around, but it will help all three manufacturers. If they make a unique platform like Volkswagen did, this could save all three companies. Because Honda has a great manual transmission and they have a good automatic. That CVT that Nissan uses, there's nothing really wrong with it, but If they can get a Honda transmission in there, I think they'd be doing better off. Engines, also, Honda does have the better engine. Now, Nissan does have high-end performance engines and larger engines. So does Honda, but Honda's engines too expensive on the performance end.
の、まあ、今日はその一歩目の検討というふうに理解していただければいいと思います。
The first thing that you look at when you want to envision an alliance or a partnership is a
They got this man, Carlos Gohan, who allegedly in 2018 he was arrested in Japan and suspicious of financial misconduct at Nissan. He was accused of understating his annual salary, and then in 2019, while he was under house arrest awaiting for trial, he allegedly, obviously, he escaped Japan by concealing himself inside a large box which was shipped by freight on a private jet. Here's the deal. He said, this is allegedly now, he said that he could not get a fair trial in Japan because Japan has a 96% conviction rate. The only reason Japan has that conviction rate is they do not take cases they can't win. And then even then, there's a 4% chance that sometimes people win those cases. So it's not that they took the case and they charged him and they put him under house arrest and they were investigating him. They don't take a case unless they can't win. Okay, you say he said allegedly he was accused of understating his annual salary. That Nissan knew this was all going on. Okay, you got the paperwork, you say you can do all that. How are you going to get around misusing company funds? But let's listen to the guy that basically almost ran, in my opinion now, ran Nissan into the ground. This is who the media went to get to talk to, an alleged criminal.
complementarity between the two partners. Well, I look at the complementarity between Honda and Nissan, and I see none. Okay, there's no complementarity. The two companies are two Japanese companies. They are strong in the same fields. They are weak in the same fields. Both of them have very developed technologies. From an industrial point of view, there is duplication everywhere. So industrially, for me, it doesn't make sense. Now,
Let me stop you right there, Carlos. Let's see who did this and did it well. Oh, yeah, Toyota did something similar with Toyota, Lexus, and then you have Nissan Infiniti, Honda, and Acura. Those things work, but you're saying that doesn't work, right? Oh, maybe you're right. No, you're wrong because Volkswagen did it the best. You have Volkswagen, you have Volkswagen with Volkswagen Commercial Line, which then Volkswagen owns Cupra, then they also own Seat, and they own Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, Ducati. With all these companies combining components, there's certain radiators from Ducati's motorcycle line that goes into Lamborghinis that used for other functions, either an oil cooler or a smaller cooler. There's radiators from the VW, the Cupra, and the Seat line that go also into Lamborghini. They go into Audi, and they also own Bentley. And they take all these components and they put them together to make a better vehicle and a lower cost of production, and then they still sell the vehicle at cost and make a mass amount of profit. This is what Honda, Nissan, and Mitsubishi want to do. And it's kind of interesting. This is coming from the guy that, in my opinion, ran Nissan into the ground. That's my opinion. But look at the state of Nissan right now. And who was ahead of Nissan before when it was getting run into the ground, in my opinion? Carlos Gohan, and this is who the media picked to
when I look
talk.
at the situation of Nissan today, and I see the tens of billions of dollars wasted, the plants which are going to be closed, the community was going to be suffered.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. When Nissan and Renault had a partnership, you guys really didn't partner up. It was almost like you said you partnered up and you did nothing together. Instead of making Nissan and Infinity and Renault partner up and make a platform, a universal platform that can, grow and shrink in size. You didn't. You didn't share engine technologies. The only thing happened, Renault built this little sports car and they took the V6 from the Nissan GTR.
The employments were going to be destroyed. Now we have victims here. We have victims of mismanagement, of lack of vision, and of an obsession for control. Today,
Wow. It almost sounds like, this is my opinion, it almost sounds like he's admitting to everything he did.
Nissan has been marginalized by its own weaknesses and by its own mistakes. Honda is much stronger than Nissan, but still is not a developing force into this industry. I think a potential alliance or partnership between the two companies are going to be another company fighting for survival and relevance into this industry. But without any doubt, they're going to have a tough time against the Chinese, against companies like Tesla, and also against Toyota, which is obviously facing these challenges in a way which is much more convincing.
The only thing that he said that made sense was that someone else has to come in and join this merger, in my opinion. It's Toyota. It should be Toyota, Honda, Mitsubishi, and Nissan, because they still would not be a monopoly. Even combining all those together and coming to the US, they're still not a monopoly. There's so many car companies out there. And that's who should join this partnership. And they should make platforms together. And like I said, everything else I said already. If those four join together, Toyota should buy Yamaha, the motorcycle company. And there's a reason behind that. They make a smaller engine and also see about purchasing Suzuki. But at some point, you do start to get into a monopoly there. I don't know where exactly that line is. I'm sure they can find it real quick when the government steps in. But that should be the merger: Toyota, Honda, Mitsubishi, and Nissan. Why they got Carlos Gohan, I have no clue why they got Carlos Gohan, not at all. He's an alleged criminal. In my opinion, allegedly he ran Nissan into the ground. And he even ruined, in my opinion, the Renault deal and the Renault partnership. They did nothing together. And everything he said was almost like he was admitting to what he was doing. He wanted control, he wanted to do everything. Anyways, if you got this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And when you're capable, I have a GoFundMe to help me out.